billionaires want to own the moon, and that's kind of weird. There's $1 trillion space race happening right now, and nobody's paying attention to it. Jeff Bezos, 5'7", thinks that one day space exploration will be worth more than Amazon. Bezos and Elon Musk have been shooting shit into space for quite a while now. Cars, D-list celebrities, satellites. Bezos is affiliated with Blue Origin. Musk is SpaceX. There's also this pervy British guy named Richard Branson. He has all of the Virgin branded stuff, and he's into space exploration as well, but he's not as important. So even though Blue Origin's orbital-class rockets didn't reach orbit until January of 2025, in 2020 they were awarded a NASA contract award for the new human landing system. Got 60% of the funds available, to the tune of around $579 million. After that, this company called Dianetics got $235 million, and SpaceX got a paltry $135. So after that, SpaceX went a little bit crazy and started really running with the space game, and they've now shot up over 7,500 satellites associated with Starlink. Amazon's got like 50 or 55 up there. All those satellites up, and NASA awarded SpaceX a commercial resupply contract. Blue Origin didn't even bother to bid on the contract. SpaceX, and by extension Elon Musk, now has billions of dollars in government contracts for NASA and the Pentagon to develop the Dragon capsule, the launch pads, experimental rockets. It's very expensive. They blow up all the time. We're not even talking to like all of the other space contractors. That's why we left those people in space for so long, because like none of the suits are compatible. Anyway, so why are they wanting to go to the moon? It's a barren wasteland without an atmosphere, much less running water. Why do these guys have such a hard-on for the dusty, crusty moon? One reason is that there's a lot of money in government contracts to go to the moon. The Space Launch System, or SLS, and the Orion spacecraft are set to cost over $1 billion. Across the aisle, our representatives are worried about China putting people on the moon permanently. They're on track to land astronauts up there by 2030. We're not. You'd think we would be farther ahead since we won the space race in the 60s and 70s, but we can't use those rockets anymore. At the time, NASA was getting 4.5% of all U.S. spending. Now it's like 0.4%, and we're giving it mostly to these weirdos. Besides that, there's also space tourism. In early 2017, SpaceX announced that they would launch 2 tourists and a small crew fly around the moon. It was called the Dear Moon Project. It was going to be a 6-day sightseeing adventure. Musk being Musk, he actually announced it before his rockets ever got off the ground. And after several delays, the project was finally scrapped in 2024. 7 years later. The guy that he was supposed to go with's net worth actually halved in the amount of time between when they announced it and when it got scrapped. That might have been a factor. But they're still shooting people up there all the time. All of these rich people have run out of stuff to waste their money on, so space is where they want to go. I say send them. Third reason is the most obvious. They want to mine the moon. We're almost out of helium here on Earth, but there's plenty of it up there in space. Besides helium, the moon also has hydrogen, which can be used as rocket fuel. They're hoping to turn the moon into like a refueling station on the way to Mars. Most rocket fuel gets used up just getting off of Earth. So once you get into space, you don't use as much, but you have a lot less left. They want to refuel there at the moon and then keep going, because you don't need as much to launch off the moon because it doesn't have as much gravity. Also, it doesn't have an atmosphere. So hydrogen, helium, and a bunch of minerals that we don't have a whole lot of here on Earth. There's supposed to be silica, there's supposed to be aluminum up there. This is why China's interested. They want to get up there and mine the moon. We do too. Mordor Intelligence thinks that space mining will be a $16 billion industry by 2037. The last reason the billionaires want the moon is that there are no rules on the moon. No one governs space. There are a couple really loose multinational treaties, but no one is up there enforcing anything. There are no laws outside of our atmosphere. They don't just want the moon. Musk wants to put a colony on Mars. They want to create literal empires like the sci-fi nerds they are. So why might you not want to invest in space? There are plenty of reasons. Firstly, funding changes at the whim of the administration. Right now, xenophobia and the Red Scare to beat the commies helps a lot. Across the aisle, our lawmakers want to beat China to the moon. There's also the factor of who's involved. Besides the cartoon villain oligarchs, it's also extremely difficult to pick out who is and is not also a government defense contractor. If you have any kind of moral qualms, this would be something you need to research heavily, which you should be doing anyway, because I'm just some random person on the internet and not any kind of financial advisor. I personally am very interested in space and space exploration, but I also understand that rockets and missiles are pretty interchangeable in their technology. What I do with my money is my business, and what you do with your money is your business, and I'm not going to fault you for whatever you do. There are more countries than just China that are in this space race race. They're just the next closest to us as far as success goes, from what I understand. Let me know in the comments how you feel about mining the moon. This might surprise people, but I'm actually against mining the moon. Lover of anthropology, I think it's been a really important piece of our evolution as a species. It just feels wrong and dirty to pollute it like we've polluted our own planet. There's nothing I can really do about it. My mother once told me that I only hold strong opinions for things that no one else cares about, and this might be one of those situations.